Good morning, guys. Hope you're doing well. So I suppose sentimentally, I'll tell you about that, and then we can talk about the technicals. And the thing with the technicals, we had a little dip on the scores because of the VIX pumped, and we can see it's weighted quite strongly because it's obviously a quite a key instrument to measure for risk. So if the fear's pumping, then our scores are going to reduce. Now, sentimentally, there's 10 people trying to short versus the one person buying, so that's sentimentally risk on. However, I need to tell you is that the indices are looking a little bit extreme on the sentiment, and some of them have exceeded their Pareto principle. So that's it's something that it happens all around the world in finance and human psychology. And because sentiment does delve into this human psychology and finance, it's quite a key measurement here. And so, like for example, DAX has exceeded. We're below 20% long. So we could be a little bit skewed, and give you an example of what happens when we are extreme in the sentiment, and it's not just an isolated case. Whenever we're really extreme, we see a reaction in price. So we just to say is that we're a little bit extreme here, and read this if you'd like. It's quite a good document. It's very interesting, and you see it all throughout all aspects of life. Health, maths and finance and things. So the wealth concentration, for example, the distribution of wealth, the 20% will run will own the majority. So this is quite interesting. But anyway, we can sort of delve away from the bulletin a little bit, but it's definitely very interesting. So, and you think about the distribution of wealth, it is very much to do with finance, and we are dealing directly with emotions and how humans deal with finance, and normally very counter trend. All right, so we have to keep an eye on that. I'll show you the robot quickly, and then we'll talk about the indices. And let me come to my remote desktop and bring that across. Double click. I'll show you the robot quickly. So our current trade is NJ short. The trade's closed overnight. We are positive. Admittedly, it's not a lot of money, but it's proven that it's working, and we're running trades counter to the herd. So as long as the herd are going to be wrong, we should be fine, in theory. We had a bit of a hit with AU, but then the robot reversed that particular trade twice, and so we made a little bit of that loss back, and we had an NU long, which made us have a positive total. So currently we're looking for NJ shorts. Now the thing is with, let me show you DAX. Now we're quite extreme, so remember the Pareto principle. Now let's see what happens when we are extreme. Right, is that an isolated case? Well, let's scroll back. Let's scroll out. Scroll out, scroll out. Look what happened when we were really extreme. Is that an isolated case? Well, let's see. What happened when we're really extreme? Let me get that window off. Up we go. All right, and it just happens all the time. You could probably say we've probably zoomed out enough now. There we go. And that's where we had the flip from sell to buy back here at 12,474. Look where we are now. Okay, so that's where the herd flipped. There, round about here. All right, so that's where we could have entered in hindsight, but you can see how what happens when we're extreme. So we could be coming down a little bit, but you would want to be looking for buys. You wouldn't really want to be selling this because we are a buyer, the big picture. And so I mean, we're falling. That's fine, right? But now look what's happened. That they're selling it because we're falling. They're very quick to sell, but you can't really blame them because they want to be making some money, right? And it doesn't really make too much sense why you'd be buying up here. But then it goes to show sometimes when you apply logic, it can do some destruction to your account. So using logic isn't necessarily the best approach sometimes. So they are selling it, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. What should happen is we should wick below now because they're selling it. They shouldn't be getting paid. So we've got like 14 more minutes left of the hour. So I should imagine we should see a wick below. and it's going to come up just to punish them because they've sold it. So up we come. So be really careful. And US 30, and we are quite extreme there too, and we are sideways. So there's nothing to be said there. If we can't draw a box so much, probably could draw one here potentially, and there's a box. So they went long. No, they sold it. Sorry. Yeah, that's no, they went long. This is what we're looking at here. This bit here. So we are kind of sideways. So it's a bit of an iffy box, but we can draw that box there. But it's just kind of sideways. So it's not a convincing box, shall we say? Whereas like this one would be here. This would be a convincing box. Perhaps that was actually drawn. Yes, kind of. This is the one. This, yeah. So that was a good box. You can see the reaction there. And S&P, and so they are kind of sideways. I think it just needs to load. Yeah, we're pretty sideways. So it tells us we could be a little bit toppy because there's not really anyone else left to bully, and there's no one else left to hunt. And we'll have to wait and see. They could sell it. If we break this low, they might look to sell, mightn't they? And if they do, up we come. So just a quick one there. Be careful because we're quite extreme. Today I'm looking at this particular cell, and also don't forget it references that cell here as well. So the QDB scores is my go-to tab for whenever I'm trading, and what I'm doing is looking for things that are kind of misbehaving. See, EN has got a good score, but we're negative, so I could be looking for longs on EN, right? And so that would make sense. And perhaps Aussie Swiss could be a good sell because we're positive, but we shouldn't be because it's got a poor score, and that's how you can use it, right? So you're looking for things that aren't really making much sense, and you're looking for reversal. So that could be a good one, and that could be a good one as well. Remember to trade safely, and the indices could be a little bit toppy, but just be careful, and also know your exits and know your sizes as well. It's really important just to be using small sizes, and you can build up over time, can't you? And that's it. So I'll speak to you guys later. Remember to trade safely and have a good day.